Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the official hypothetical college football 12-team playoff. This is what I think it would have looked like had we actually had a 12-team playoff this year. Now, we are getting it next year, but this is just a little preview of what's to come. Now, obviously, in the first round, there is home field advantage. Every other game is going to be neutral site. But these first round matchups, this is how I think they would have done it. Michigan getting the bye, taking on either Oregon or Missouri. You've got Alabama getting a bye, taking on either Florida State or Liberty. There is a chance that maybe because, Alabama was going to make the playoff already, they would have possibly bumped Alabama down and Florida State up because Florida State did go undefeated and Alabama still would have made it. But either way, you can see that. Ohio State versus Ole Miss. I did change this a little bit to make sure it wasn't an SEC versus SEC and a Big Ten versus Big Ten. So Ohio State home against Ole Miss in the Horseshoe, and then Georgia hosting Penn State. You can see the teams getting the byes right there. And we're just going to simulate, have some fun with this. The first matchup is involving home field advantage. It is Oregon and Missouri, and I would be shocked if Oregon lost this game. This is going to be a very tough matchup for Missouri, in my opinion, but let's just see what the simulator says. We do have the stats on as well, and Missouri wins on the road in Oregon. Wow. Brady Cook goes for almost 400 passing yards. Luther Burden goes for 197 receiving yards. And then Bo Nix had a pretty good game. 418 passing yards for Bo Nix, and they still lost. There's a lot of scoring in this game, but, give credit to Missouri. That's a crazy win for them in this hypothetical matchup. They will be moving on, and they will be taking on Michigan. So, wow, you got to like that if you're Michigan, right? That's a solid matchup for them. Next game, we do have Florida State versus Liberty. The winner of this faces Alabama. Bama getting a really good draw here with these two teams, although I do think Jordan Travis is going to play in this game just because it's a simulator and I can't edit him out, which I guess is better, but I would expect Florida State to win this game relatively easily. And Liberty wins on the road? I have home field advantage? Yeah. Wow. So Liberty wins. Their quarterback, 13 of 28 for 156. This was, I guess he had 151 rushing yards. Let's see. Oh, they did start Brock Glenn. Brock Glenn went 12 of 27. Oh, my goodness. Liberty moves on to face Alabama, and this is starting off really strange. Very, very strange start, and Alabama should have basically a bye if something like that actually happened. Liberty moves on, the number 12 seed. All right, the next game, this one should be a little bit better, you would think. It is Ohio State and Ole Miss. This game happening in Columbus. I would imagine that Ohio State would have Kyle McCord in this game. He's probably going to be the starter because, hypothetically, if Ohio State made the playoff, he would not be transferring out. The winner of this game will take on Washington in round 2. So we'll see Ole Miss traveling to Columbus, and Ohio State gets it done 30-21 over Ole Miss. Jackson Dart goes for 269, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. And then for Ohio State, Lincoln Kienholz actually started, and he played well. He played decent. 24 of 35, 264, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Marvin Harrison Jr. goes 9 for 102. And the Buckeyes, maybe a Cinderella run with a backup quarterback again. They're going to be moving on. They dispatch of Ole Miss. That would be big for the Big Ten right there to get that win against an SEC team. And then this is another Big Ten SEC matchup. It is Georgia taking on Penn State. This one probably not going to be very competitive. I would expect Georgia to win this game relatively easily against the Penn State team that really struggles on offense, especially going on the road. Can Penn State... Nope. Yeah, Penn State got shut down there. 27-13, Georgia wins. Drew Aller, 17 of 32. I really wish they would put the completions and then the attempts. I don't know why they don't do that. 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. Penn State could not run the ball at all. Carson Beck had 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Wow. Kind of a weird game, but Georgia, not surprising. Lower scoring, they're moving on into round 2 of the 12-team playoff over Penn State. And we are moving on to the second round. You can see the first matchup, Michigan taking on Missouri. Missouri coming in as the number 9 overall seed. All of these games will be neutral site, so there is no home field advantage. You can see I can check this or not check it. Obviously, second round, it's all neutral site. I would expect Michigan to win this game relatively handily. We will see if Missouri can put up. Wow, Missouri with a shocking upset over Michigan. And they're somehow moving on. What a Cinderella run from Missouri in this game. Michigan, the number 1 overall seed. Their quarterback went 10 of 25 and they still won. How bad was the offense in this game? 12 of... I mean, geez, my goodness, man. This was just a terrible performance by both quarterbacks. What a bad game that is. And Jim Harbaugh, he'll be heading into his suspension, very upset after a situation like that. Next, we have this might be the easiest run in history for Alabama. They get Liberty and then Missouri. Alabama taking on Liberty, no home field advantage. This is a New Year's 6 game technically. Oh my God, what? Alabama drops an 80 burger on Liberty. Come on, that's a little ridiculous. That's a little disrespectful from Alabama. 80-13. We got to take a look. Let's take a look at this. Liberty barely had 300 yards of total offense. Jalen Milroe goes 20 of 23 for 521 passing yards, 8 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, a rating of 392. Come on, this is not necessary. It's just not necessary. It's sad to see. The next game, it is Ohio State taking on Washington. The winner will face either Texas or Georgia. Ohio State, without Kyle McCord, can they keep it going? Neutral site game against Washington, we will see. And they do. And a statement victory for Ohio State with Lincoln Kienholz. They drop a 40 burger on Washington and win this game 41-24. Let's take a little look. Michael Penix Jr., not a great game. It was, completion percentage only 55% for Ohio State. Lincoln Kienholz, 280 yards, 2 touchdowns, an interception. And you can see, wow, Trevion Henderson didn't even have that good of a game. Marvin Harrison Jr. had 100 yards and a touchdown, but Ohio State does move on there. And the final matchup in round 2, it is Texas and Georgia. This is a rematch of the Sugar Bowl when Sam Ehlinger declared Texas was back. I do think Georgia probably will win this game, but we will see. And it is Texas winning 41-35. This sets up a Texas-Ohio State matchup in the semifinal. What a performance from Texas. What a nice offensive performance there. So Texas will be moving on. Quinn Ewers, 355 passing yards. 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. It's impressive. Carson Beck goes for 366. 4 touchdowns, no interceptions in a losing effort. That is unfortunate. But now we have our Final Four. And here it is, the official new college football playoff semifinal games. Missouri sliding in as a 9 seed, taking on Alabama. And then you've got Ohio State and Texas. No home field advantage, nothing. Let's see the SEC matchup, Alabama and Missouri. And let's see who comes out on top. And it is Missouri in overtime. After Alabama scores 80 points against Liberty, they get stymied on offense by Missouri, and Missouri is heading to the national championship. Let's take a look at this game. Brady Cook, nothing spectacular from him. Jalen Milroe. Jalen Milroe's stats against Liberty were just ridiculous. He had to come back down to earth, and he did in a big way. So Missouri is on to the national championship. Let's see who they'll be taking on. Boy, this is an all-American matchup. Ohio State and Texas. When is the last time these two teams have faced? This will be a crazy one. The Buckeyes with their backup quarterback, and they win. Ohio State making it to the national championship against Missouri. That's who they're going to be facing. They win 31-17 over Texas. It's a very tough loss for Texas. And Quinn Ewers trying to get revenge. Well, I guess Ohio State getting revenge on Quinn Ewers. He goes for 203, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Ohio State, oh my goodness. Lincoln Kienholz, the third stringer, 371, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Trevion Henderson, 111 yards. Marvin Harrison Jr., 124. And we've got the national championship. And this is it. It is the national championship. And it's the 7 seed versus the 9 seed, Ohio State. beating Ole Miss, beating Washington, beating Texas, now facing Missouri, Missouri beating Oregon, Michigan, Alabama. What a run for this Missouri team. Let's see who wins the national championship. Very even matchup. And it is Ohio State with a crazy blowout victory over Missouri, 44-17. And the Buckeyes win the first national championship here for the 12-team playoff. Obviously, this is not very realistic. But just something fun to do. Let's take a look. Brady Cook, not a great game. Ohio State, I don't know, kind of a weird game there. But either way, that's just kind of a fun little simulation I thought I would do, guys. That's going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.